Hey, welcome to the next lesson. This time, as I promised, we'll be looking for our color palette. To start with, we need to use as a starting point the topic we chose. In my case, coffee. So, I would like to do something related to it. However, I think I'm going to break the rules, and instead of using a typical palette, I'll opt for something striking and different, although it's not related to the topic. I know that what I'm saying is a bit contradictory, but when it comes to the color palette, it depends on the public for which it's intended. Let's say that our illustration is for a company, it is for a formal environment. In this case, a colorful and bright palette wouldn't be appropriate, right? So you need to adapt the colors to the assignment. It's quite important. I think in my case, I'll focus on the sensations awakened by coffee, especially when talking about the benefits of coffee. We were talking about it before. One of these effects is caused by caffeine, which acts as a brain stimulant. You feel more energetic when you drink a cup of coffee, so my illustration will be about that, more or less. Regarding the color palette, as I just said, it will depend on the scene represented in the photo. When we search for coffee, we'll find lots of pictures where coffee is connected to positive settings. For example, here we have lots of them, lots of examples. Have a look at this one, which is from Freepik. Coffee that is portrayed something positive. For example, something positive when working because it gives you energy, or when you are with your friends, or when you're relaxing by yourself on reading a book or something like that. Let's go now to Pinterest. I think Pinterest is a great platform to get some ideas and inspiration regarding color palettes. As you can see here in the results, we have loads of pictures and next to them, the color palette. But if you look closely, you realize that in all of them there are up to 5 colors. I talked about it in other courses, so perhaps you already know it. The thing is that our color palette should have a maximum of 5 colors, not more than 5. Why? Well, it contributes to create an harmonic and balanced composition. But if you use more than 5, there would be too many colors. That's why we need to focus on only 5 colors. So what I've been telling you so far is what I used to do when creating my color palette. Now let's create a new document in Photoshop. Well, don't worry too much about the document since we are focusing now on the color palette. So we're going to talk about the interesting stuff regarding the document and what to do, if we want to print it or not, the format and so on later on. So don't worry about it now. Okay, I'm going to use this brush I've selected, and then I'm going to set opacity to its maximum value. Then I'm going to open this Adobe extension, the Adobe Color theme, which before was called Adobe Color. This extension offers a series of range of color palettes, and you can sort them by name. And it's quite useful actually. Okay, let's wait a little bit. Okay, so here you can see all the color palette, which are really pretty actually. I love them. And under them, there is a name given to each of them by their author. As you can see, there are lots of them, from warm palettes to cold palettes, also palettes with quite different colors, which just don't go together. And it's like, okay, can it be possible? Yeah, it can. Okay, anyway, I'll type coffee, okay. These are the palettes provided by Adobe users. As you can see, most of them are earth tones, neutral tones with a low saturation. Now I'll type relax this time to check other options. There are different colors, but blue is very frequent, which means that relax is symbolized with blue, right? They are connected. It usually happens with colors, which represent certain things. In this case, blue is connected to relax, okay? Blue transmits calm, coldness, professionalism, and so on. So let's try to find a color palette which fits with what we want to represent. Well, guys, I recommend that you pick a harmonious color palette. In fact, I have faith that you'll pick the appropriate palette. It's not that difficult though, because when it's easy on the eye, it means that we find it nice and beautiful, so we'll pick the correct color palette. Well, I'm still on my search for the right color palette. I think I'll focus on, don't know, perhaps on a yellowish color palette. I really like this one since it's a mix of warm colors with blue, which can be of great help when coloring the illustration. So guys, see you in the next lesson.